High-Level Media Podcasts.
What would happen if there was a full-scale nuclear war between Russia and the United States? Based on non-classified data, the aftermath might go something like this. When one side launches nuclear missiles, the other side detects them and fires back before impact. U.S. submarine-launched ballistic missiles from west of Norway start striking Russia after about 10 minutes, and Russian ones from north of Canada start hitting the U.S. a few minutes later. The very first strikes are high-altitude EMP attacks, frying electronics and power grids by creating an electromagnetic pulse of tens of thousands of volts per meter. The next strikes target command and control, as well as nuclear launch facilities. Land-based intercontinental ballistic missiles take about half an hour to arrive. Major cities are targeted, both because they contain military facilities and to stymie the enemy's post-war recovery. Some cruise missiles take hours to reach their target. Each impact creates a fireball about as hot as the core of the sun, followed by a radioactive mushroom cloud. These intense explosions vaporize people nearby and cause fires and blindness further away. The fireball expansion then causes a blast wave that damages buildings, crushing nearby ones. The United Kingdom and France have nuclear capabilities and are obliged by NATO's Article 5 to defend the US. So Russia hits them too. Firestorms engulf many cities, where storm-level winds fan the flames, igniting anything that can burn, melting glass and some metals, and turning asphalt into flammable hot liquid. But the explosions, the electromagnetic pulse, and the radioactivity aren't the worst part. Nuclear winter is, caused by the black carbon smoke from the nuclear firestorms. The Hiroshima atomic bomb caused such a firestorm, but today's hydrogen bombs are much more powerful. A large city like Moscow, with almost 50 times more people, can create much more smoke. And a firestorm sends plumes of black smoke up into the stratosphere, far above any rain clouds that would otherwise wash out the smoke. This black smoke gets heated by sunlight, lofting it like a hot air balloon for up to a decade. High-altitude jet streams are so fast that it takes only a few days for the smoke to spread across much of the northern hemisphere. In the meantime, Earth gets freezing cold, even during the summer, with farmland in Kansas cooling by about 20 degrees centigrade or 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and other regions cooling almost twice as much. A recent scientific paper estimates that over 5 billion people could starve to death, including around 99% of those in the United States, Europe, Russia, and China. We obviously don't know how many people will survive a nuclear war. But if it's even remotely as bad as scientists think, then it has no winners, merely losers.
To assess whether Jamaica would be affected by a hypothetical World War III, it is essential to consider several factors, including Jamaica's geopolitical position, its economic dependencies, and the nature of modern warfare. Jamaica is located in the Caribbean Sea and is part of a region that has historically been influenced by larger powers, particularly the United States. The island nation has a relatively small military presence and relies heavily on tourism and agriculture for its economy. Given these characteristics, Jamaica's direct involvement in a global conflict may seem limited at first glance. In the event of a global conflict involving major powers such as the United States, Russia, or China, Caribbean nations could find themselves caught in broader geopolitical struggles. For instance, if tensions escalate between these superpowers over issues like trade routes or territorial disputes, smaller nations like Jamaica might be drawn into alliances or forced to take sides due to economic pressures or security agreements. Moreover, if World War III were to involve nuclear weapons or other forms of mass destruction, the fallout, both literal and metaphorical, could impact regions far from the immediate conflict zones. The Caribbean could experience disruptions in trade routes and tourism due to heightened military activity or instability in neighboring countries. Jamaica's economy is significantly reliant on tourism. Any global conflict could deter international travel and investment. A decline in tourism would have immediate adverse effects on employment and local businesses. Additionally, if supply chains are disrupted due to war-related activities elsewhere, for example, oil prices skyrocketing, Jamaica could face economic hardships stemming from increased costs for imported goods. In times of global conflict, humanitarian crises often arise. If World War III leads to mass displacement of people from affected regions, such as refugees fleeing war-torn areas, Jamaica may see an influx of migrants seeking safety. This situation could strain local resources and social services. Modern warfare can also have significant environmental impacts that transcend borders. For example, chemical warfare or nuclear fallout can affect air quality and water supplies far beyond the immediate area of conflict. Given Jamaica's reliance on natural resources for its economy and lifestyle, any environmental degradation resulting from warfare could pose serious challenges. While it is difficult to predict with certainty how World War III would unfold or what specific impacts it would have on Jamaica, it is reasonable to conclude that Jamaica would likely be affected by World War III through economic disruptions, geopolitical pressures, potential humanitarian crises related to migration patterns, and environmental consequences stemming from modern warfare tactics.